All right. Excuse me. I had to end that live stream because it was just bad reception. Horrible feed. But here I am. After the fight, Silva won by unanimous decision. 29-28. I'm not sure what round they think Viviane won, but they gave Viviane a round. Now, just let me say this about Natalia Silva as a fighter in general. Just my instant or immediate reaction to her performance. I believe that she overestimates her opponents. I know I'm not the only one who thinks that. I believe she overestimates her opponent's abilities, especially compared to her own. A lot of times, she's moving away when she shouldn't. I don't think there was any reason at all for her to fear anything from Araujo. But Araujo was able to sort of make her presence felt simply by walking forward. And the only reason that worked is because Silva responded by moving away. I think Silva could have not only stood there right in front of her, I think she could have backed Viviane up. I think Silva is too committed to moving away. Now, it might be because she doesn't have much confidence or that much confidence in her striking. Maybe she don't like to get hit. I don't know. But fighters like that, they lose out on opportunities. They lose fights that they shouldn't. They give their opponents an advantage. I believe when in this fight, you saw Viviane walking forward, right? But when she got up to Silva, she didn't do nothing. And she didn't want to do nothing. Viviane was lightweight scared. That pressure from Viviane was a bluff. She was bluffing the whole time, Viviane. Walking forward, but didn't want to do nothing. She didn't have no plan. Her plan was just to move forward and make it look like she's the aggressor. But she did not really want to engage Silva. I think Silva should have picked up on that. When you got a fighter who's approaching you, putting pressure on you, pay attention to see what they do once they get close enough to hit you. If all they do is stand there and look at you, they don't really want to do nothing. And you need to start teeing off on them. Natalia Silva has speed, but she does not have the boxing of Alexa Grasso. Grasso is far more confident in her hands. So confident, Grasso feels like she can throw combinations while walking towards you. You really don't see Silva doing that. Grasso's a different type of striker. She'll put her hands up. Grasso will put her hands up and walk towards you. The whole fight, she'll be walking you down, walking towards you. Her style is not to back up and use lateral movement like Silva. I think that helps Silva, her lateral movement, of course. As long as it's not used, it can be used against you. But I definitely think it hurts you. But I also think it reveals her shortcomings. Silva don't have the style where she can stand toe to toe with you and slip shots, block shots, counter. Silva tries to get off her flurry and get out of there. Rap, 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 rap. Move. Move, move, move. Stop. Combination. Or, combinations are not too frequent. She usually stops and throws a jab or a leg kick. But as we all know, in some fights, some judges in some situations can count that against you. Like, hey, your opponent is the one that's engaging. Had Viviane been more active, I think she would have won a lot of those minutes where she was moving forward and Silva was moving backwards. Because a lot of those times, Silva wasn't landing much and Araujo wasn't landing much. Araujo wasn't throwing much. The only thing Araujo lacked was volume, activity. Had she combined that with moving forward, she probably would have won that fight. But Viviane did not want to do nothing. She didn't really want to engage like that. I think Silva need to be better at picking up on stuff like that and understanding when she has the advantage. Silva seems like she doubts her abilities. She questions her abilities. She don't seem to have as much confidence in her skill set as a lot of us do, people who watch and do. And I think many of us overrate Silva. I think many of us overrate her because of her speed. But she lacks assertiveness in for a lot of minutes in a round. I think she's moving away when there's no reason at all for you. Especially with Araujo. Every single time Alexa Grasso wanted to stand in front of Araujo and tee off on her, she did it. And Araujo couldn't do nothing about it. If you know your hands just about as fast, if not faster than Alexa Grasso's, you do the same thing. Because you saw against Alexa Grasso, when Grasso would tee off like that, Vivi wasn't really trying to counter her. Vivi was one of those fighters who pretty much wait for you to get done with your flurry. But if you got a lot of speed, she's less likely to try to counter you. Again, if you know your hands, and her hand speed is on par with Grasso's. Her combinations too. But Grasso's more confident with her hands. In the third round, it looked like Silva was trying to march her down. Did y'all see that? As soon as the round started, it looked like her coaches in the corner told her the same thing I'm saying. Like, stop moving away. This girl ain't got nothing for you. She's not trying to counter you. When she gets close to you, she's not throwing nothing out there. And every time you tee off on her, she's either getting hit or trying to block, waiting until you get done throwing your combination. Stop running away from this girl. Go at her. Take it to her. Be the boss. Silva don't really fight in a dominant style like that. Don't fight in a dominant style like that. And I think it works against her. I think in a lot of these fights, she even hurt Viviane at one point. In a lot of these fights, she's smiling right here. A lot of these fights, she overestimates her opponent's abilities. And she fights as if they're far better than they actually are. That's what Silva does. I would say Silva needs to fight like she needs to fight to the level of her skill set, that her skill set allow her to, or surpass it. She need to fight as if she has more skill than she actually has. That's what I think. It does her a disservice to underestimate her abilities and sort of overestimate her opponents. I think that's what she does. And that sort of defines how she fights. But I think she need to understand that girls are uncomfortable with that level of speed. And when you're that fast, you can afford to be assertive. You can afford to impose your will on them. You lead the combination. You throw first. Don't wait to try to counter them. You lead and throw flurries. Walk forward. Make them back up. And have an attack ready when you're walking forward. You have to attack in a different way when you're walking forward than when you're moving backwards and side to side. Walking forward in a fight, it really requires a whole different skill set. That's when you have to start moving your head side to side, Mike Tyson style, Alexa Grasso style. You got to start anticipating shots, slip, counter. Some of your shots have to be shortened. You got to throw them. You got to tuck some of those shots. Hook, stand, get your position, your torque, your leverage, and throw a tight, short shots. Silva is primarily from way away. She primarily wants to fight you from far away and would rather it be a hit and move type of thing. Whereas Grasso will not only march you down methodically. Now, she's not recklessly coming in there. Grasso marches in at a slow, steady pace. And what she's doing is she's trying to dare you to challenge her boxing skills. She's trying to provoke you into having a boxing match with her with that style. That puts a different type of pressure on your opponents. It makes them want to back up. That was not happening with Araujo, except for the early part of that last round. Again, it looked like her coaches sort of got on her about that. And she came out in the third trying to stop moving away so much and instead march forward. And you saw what Vivi do. She stopped walking forward. I say this time and time again about fighters. Stop moving away so much. Many of these girls who walking forward towards you, they don't plan on doing nothing. They're moving forward because you keep moving backwards. Stand your ground. Walk forward. You got to understand, man. I've seen so many times fighters fight like Araujo, marching forward the whole fight, like she aggressive, like she got some type of big plan that she's going to execute once she get close enough to you. And I've seen so many of those fighters get right up to their opponent and just stand there and look at them. Because it's all a bluff. And you'll see those types of fighters walking forward the whole fight, round after round. And as soon as their opponent stands their ground and start walking forward, you'll see those same fighters backing up, moving away, no longer walking forward. Because it was a bluff from the very beginning. They didn't want to mix it up with you like that. I don't believe there's not that many girls who just want to get in there and mix it up with Natalia Silva. I think to a degree, Silva need to acknowledge that and fight like it. Fight like you know these girls ain't got much for you. Have some level of arrogance. Don't underplay your skill set. She's far more skilled than she fights like, if that makes sense. That's pretty much how I look at her. And I think it can cause her to lose. So she got to be careful with that. I could easily see her losing a fight that she should have won. You know, I can see a fighter with more volume winning rounds if she's moving away like that. You know, fighters, like if I'm walking forward, my opponent's moving away and I'm I'm marching them down. I get closer. I throw shots. I'm throwing these haymakers and whatnot. If they decide to stop going away, moving away, and start walking towards me, now I got to pull out a whole different arsenal of skill sets. I got to know how to fight in the pocket. And I got to know how to fight backing up. A lot of these fighters who be walking forward like that, they can't even fight in the pocket. And that's a Viviane. You know, if it's one thing you should know about her, if Viviane is walking forward a lot against a fighter with clearly better hands and speed, accuracy, and stuff like that, she bluffing. She bluffing, and she just walking forward. She's just walking forward because you walking backwards. I don't know what happened to my live stream, but my chat room disappeared. My chat room disappeared. I don't have a chat room at all. What in the world? Okay, that's not cool. Oh, I lost my chat room. All right. But that was my take. And as far as Molly, I thought, let's see how she looked against better quality opponents. She already fought Bell Beater. You know, this is a lower weight class. Good win. Can she do that on the higher level? We'll see about that. And I didn't expect Luana Carolina to stop Stoliarenko, but it don't surprise me that she beat her. I could easily see her out striking Stoliarenko. Stoliarenko not a good striker at all. And if she can't submit you, usually Stoliarenko lose. I've said that in some of her other post-fight analysis. What in the world? This is crazy. I can't find my chat room. I don't know what happened. I didn't disable the chat room. This is weird. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I made my restrictions made for kids. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I screwed up the live stream. So, whatever. It'll just be a screwed up live stream. I don't think I can do anything about it right now. I don't think I can do anything about it right now. Man, how did I do that? So I disabled my chat room by doing that. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, I should be okay now, but I still don't see my chat room. All right, so I'm going to log off. Shout out to all of you. I will catch you on the next live stream.